Imagine this scenario: the three Archons, Venti, Zhongli, and Raiden, walk into a restaurant and start eating peacefully. It's going pretty well so far, until suddenly, the bill arrives. Who will end up paying for the food, and why? I got this question from this Reddit post, and thought it was very interesting, so I decided to make a video for it, because I have no more resin. So yeah, credits to the person who made this post. Now, the answer to the question: well, there's actually a lot to consider, depending on where the Archons ate, like the post previously said. If they ate at Inazuma, the owner of the shop will end up just giving away their food for free, because he is literally serving food for the Raiden Shogun and her friends, and they will see it as disrespectful if they ask for their little god to pay for their food. Sadly, Zhongli and Venti have hidden the fact that they are an Archon, so they don't get the same benefits as Raiden if they end up eating in their nation. If they ate at a restaurant from Liyue, Zhongli could easily request for child to come, because he has a very intense emergency, then make him pay for all the food, because he forgot his wallet. If he can't arrive though, because he's probably busy defeating himself, then Zhongli could ask Ru Tao instead, as they are pretty close, and she probably wouldn't mind paying for him once in a while. But if she's also busy, probably giving brand new coupons to the child that child defeated, then things get really desperate, and he would be forced to reluctantly call Xiao. He arrives, thinking it's a big emergency, but then he just asks if he has extra mora, because he forgot to bring his wallet. If they ate at Mondstadt however, Venti would try to sing a song and do a short performance as payment for their food, and I assume most of the people of Mondstadt are already aware of his interesting way of paying, and end up just accepting his weird offer. To make it more interesting and fair for everyone, let's say the Archons ended up eating at Sumeru, where they are actually forced to pay. Who will end up paying for the bill then? I feel like Raiden and Zhongli might feel a little shameful to reveal that they don't have more with them, and just keep dodging the questions, and on the other hand, Venti will be the opposite and proudly say that he's poor and doesn't have enough, or even any money, to pay for the meal, so one of his two friends have to pay for him. Bad news for him though: Zhongli forgot to bring his wallet for the 1,000,000th time, as he still doesn't exactly understand money. He'll understand it one day, eventually. He can try to return back to Liyue to retrieve that missing wallet, but they are all the way at Sumeru, so it would take him at least 3 days before he can come back to them waiting at the restaurant and pay for the meal. To be fair, the Archons have already lived for so long, so 3 days for them will probably just feel like 3 minutes. The owner of the restaurant will not be as patient though, and assume that they are scamming them, so they won't allow it. They look at Raiden as their last glimmer of hope, but unfortunately, she also doesn't have any mora, as she never needed them. Usually people just give her free stuff, and assumed it was the same everywhere else. Apparently not. They then realize that none of them can pay for the food, and they are very screwed. So how can they possibly pay the bill? Well, I have some solutions. Solution number 1, they don't. After eating, they just quickly get out of the restaurant before the payment can even be requested. I mean, it's a very low chance they will actually do it, but they absolutely will get away with it if they do follow this plan, as they can run very fast. Also note that I don't advise stealing in any way. This part is just for comedic purposes. Venti is as swift as the winds and could easily glide through the area. Raiden has quick reflexes and is as fast as lightning, and then Zhongli looks very cool and calm, so no one would suspect him of ever doing something like that. Like I said, they probably won't ever do this, unless their inner vicious side kicks in, like during the Archon War era. For solution number 2, they could call their favorite friend, who will always be able to visit them wherever they are, the amazing traveler. They could invite him over for like dinner, and when he arrives, using waypoints, the Archons will end up just staring at him, and he will immediately understand the signal and graciously pay for their meal. Now that is one way they could pay for it, but what if the traveler was busy and he couldn't come because he is chasing your sister or something? What would they do now? That is where we go to solution number 3. They invite Paimon instead to join them for dinner. She will definitely accept, especially since food is involved, and eating is very high on her list of priorities. She will also probably force, or at least be able, to convince the traveler to stop what important thing they are doing, and make the traveler also come to the dinner. If that's the case, he would end up paying for the food. Now, there are other, more unique ways the Archons can pay for the meal. Solution number 4, if they work together, and manage to gather enough fallen mora on the ground that people accidentally dropped, they could possibly have enough to the point they can pay for their meal. But it depends on how expensive are the food they bought. Judging by how they aren't really experienced with saving. A. Probably bought 3 of every dessert in the menu. Zhongli ordered every meal in the menu, as he would want to taste it all, and experience their culture, and then Venti easily sold out their entire storage of wine. So yeah, it will be very expensive, and a few loose mora won't suffice. Solution number 5 is to just call a friend that they know from Sumeru, and invite them to pay for the food. Invite them to their dinner party. I am specifically thinking that they might invite the Dendro Archon, as the 3 Archons are also there, and they might as well, since they are in Sumeru. When the Dendro Archon arrives, and they start to order all the food that they want, probably like a bunch of plants and fish. When they finish, and chat for a bit, and the topic of payment is in order, the 3 look at the Dendro Archon, giving a signal. They then shockingly reveal that they have no mora as well, since they only value knowledge, and thinks that it should be the medium of currency, as knowledge is more important than some small simple mora. Unlucky for them, the restaurant they ate at doesn't accept knowledge as a currency. The 4 of them are now stuck in this awkward predicament again, and this exact scenario will lead to the ultimate solution to their problem. Solution number 6, the end of humanity. As they fight and argue whose fault it is that they can't pay for the meal, it's actually all of their fault, but they are too blinded with rage to realize. Their fighting gets very aggressive and serious real quick, until the whole town had to evacuate. Raiden tried to use her ultimate move, the Miso no Hitotachi, but Zhongli's incredibly strong shield blocks the attack. Meanwhile, Venti is just summoning tornadoes everywhere, but it's still doing no damage to Zhongli's shield. As the fight progresses, Zhongli starts summoning giant meteors towards the other 2. Venti swiftly dodges the incoming attack, while Raiden just uses her sword technique to slice the meteor in half. Their fight over the payment became the start of the Second Archon War, and gods from other nations join their showdown as well. The war eventually stops when the owner of the restaurant says they can have their meal for free. And that is how the Second Archon War happened. Note, this random video was just for fun, so don't take this story seriously at all. Thank you all so much for watching, subscribe, and like, if you ended up enjoying this short video. Bye.